I lived in the inner city in West Philadelphia. That's where I was born and reared. And I found this. I thought it was a very tranquil location. I value that, and I value my neighbors.
I'm in the city of Philadelphia, and yet I feel like I'm in the Poconos. I have the trees, I have the greenery, I have the environment, I have the birds, I have the animals. It is just the most wonderful, wonderful place to live.
My father, Morris Milgram, was radical in the 30s, a socialist. In the introduction to his book, he wrote, "In 1952, after learning the housing business for 4 years, I went to a Philadelphia real estate lender for advice on getting started as a private developer of multiracial communities. I was told that no white person would ever voluntarily move next door to blacks." And he goes on to say this prophecy proved false.
I got a call from Morris Milgram. He said, "Art, the development that we're in has a house for sale. It's number 4. And I'd like you to buy it." I said, "Morris, I'd like very much to buy it, only I have a problem. I really don't have the money to put up a down payment. I appreciate you asking." 2 weeks later, I get a call from Morris, and Morris says, "Art, 3 neighbors are willing to put up the down payment for you to come into Longford Street." And I said to myself, wow, that's great. And then I started thinking, there has to be another reason. And one of the reasons that I thought was I was white, and they needed me for a balance of the integrated development.
There was a vision here of a world where people could swim together and play together.
On Halloween, everybody would get dressed up and we would go around the street starting at 1 and work our way around to number 19. And everybody was ready for the kids and they would all go together. And the other thing that was interesting is they all made their own costumes.
It was really a child's paradise in terms of playing. You could stay out and play in the street all day, play in the woods. We played basketball, we played baseball. We climbed trees, we built forts. There was much more freedom for children to be children.
I've met such nice people and such celebrities that every once in a while that come through, and the people are very friendly. They're like one big happy family.
Some of the people that were famous that lived here on Longford Street were Reverend Leon Sullivan, Congressman Nix, Charles Fuller, from what I can remember. And,
Jacqueline Scott.
So Dad comes down and says, "Dave!" He said, "Dave, I want to Pulitzer Prize." Okay. I had no idea, no clue what that was, and I didn't pay any attention. And the next day, on the loudspeaker at school, they were like, "And today's announcements are blah blah blah, prayer service for this and church for that." And he said, and David Fuller's father, Charles Fuller, won the Pulitzer Prize. The whole school clapped. I was like, "Oh wow, this is heavy."
It seemed normal to a child to be able to interact with a congressman, such as Congressman Nix, who was either the second or third African-American member of the United States Congress at that time.
By the way, Leon Sullivan, if you know the history of South Africa, he was the man that formulated the Sullivan Principles. And Nelson Mandela owes as much as to anyone, Leon Sullivan, who brought that vision to South Africa, and that's why they call it the Sullivan Principles.
I remember as a kid talking to the Roosevelt Barlow, the firefighter. I remember asking Roosevelt why he bought a house here. And Roosevelt proceeded to explain to me how a black person couldn't buy a new home anywhere. And I remember looking at him with amazement and saying, "You mean they wouldn't take your money?" And he said, "That's right." And I remember thinking as an 11-year-old, that's crazy.
I was the only African American student in St. Jerome's at that particular time. Or I was one of two, but I was the only visible African American kid in that school. I had never seen that many white kids in one spot in my life. I was scared to death. That's the only time I've ever been scared. I mean, like scared.
I was about 5 years old, and I pointed at a man on the bus, and I said, "Mom, why does that man have a chocolate arm and a chocolate face?" I was living in Levittown, which was an all-white place. And my mom was so shocked that she decided to do something different with her children. She saw an advertisement in the Nation magazine for an integrated housing development, and that place is this place.
I think that the people were good neighbors because they believed in what we did about living together. They didn't stop to think who you were or what you were. They took us as people. They did it because they wanted to.
I think it was harder for the blacks than for the whites, you know. I think the whites felt a little bit superior that they were showing that they didn't have any prejudice, but of course they did. It just wasn't ugly like the prejudices outside.
I think living on Longford Street enhanced the lives of our children tremendously, because all three of them can move in pretty much any group of people and feel very, very comfortable. And I think a lot of it had to do with growing up on this street.
Being able to put together a community like Longford Street and have it be such a success for more than half a century is truly remarkable, and I think it's a testament to the power of people having a sense of common purpose and a commitment to something simple as neighborliness and mutual respect over the years, and that really in the end it doesn't matter what the race or ethnic background is of your neighbors, but really the bottom line is their humanity.
I think Longford Street will survive.
That's gum.
Let me see.
It's gum.
Okay, let's come.
I want some gum.
Not yet.
My mom
Okay,
is
you're
so
getting
rude.
ready for your star.
Say hi.
I mean, I still wake up in the morning and think, what a lucky place to be.
It was remarkable, as far as I'm concerned, that you could get up in the morning and listen to the birds.
We loved it. We just enjoyed it. And every birthday, every bar mitzvah we've been to, anything that the family celebrated, we were included.
Longford Street shows that people with good hearts can live through any tough times.
I'm hoping that the new generation of people who are coming on our block will enjoy it, will enjoy the kindness,